While hiking deep along a forest trail, this man noticed someone or something in the distance. He shined his flashlight toward it and started recording to see what was out there. That's when he captured this. An arm quickly slid behind a tree, disappearing almost instantly. The unsettling part, nothing else ever appeared. Some say it could have been a person or an animal moving out of frame at just the right moment. Others are reminded of old logging folklore. Stories of a creature known as the hide-behind, said to stay just out of sight, always hiding behind trees. They say it watches, waiting for the perfect moment, and those who encounter it rarely get a second chance. So what, or who, was out there with him that night? A woman was hiking alone in the mountains of India when a man approached her, asking for a photo. She politely declined and told him to stop following her, but he continued to trail her along the path, ignoring her requests.
Taking a picture. I don't want to take a picture with you. Can you stop following me?
The footage captures the tension as the woman tries to keep her distance, while the man never strays far behind. Some suggest it could have been a misunderstanding, while others feel his persistence hints that his intentions were not just to take a photo. Property owners set up game cameras across their remote land after noticing signs of illegal hunting and trespassing. They just wanted to see who had been coming onto their property. While checking the footage, the images showed something standing close to the camera. In another shot, taken moments later by one of their trail cameras, a tall figure can be seen standing along the tree line. Based on its position, it appeared to stand around 8 to 9 feet tall, with broad shoulders and long, thin limbs that didn't match a typical human frame. Was this just some sort of AI-generated image or prank, or was something mysterious wandering around their property? One evening, a woman named Becky was hiking in the Appalachian Mountains when this happened. A long, drawn-out howl echoed through the trees. She stood still, listening closely. Her dog reacted immediately, alert and tense, staring into the darkness as if it knew something was out there. She had been living in the Appalachians for a while, but had never heard a sound like this before. Some say it could have been a wild animal calling through the night. Others think the sound feels too unusual, especially with how the dog reacted. Did the dog really see something? The woman didn't. While walking through a quiet neighborhood, this person began noticing something strange appearing on lampposts and street corners. It looked like an ordinary flyer, but once they read it, things took a strange turn. It advertised a job offering $100 a day. The role asked for someone to pretend to be a patient, lying in a bed while a woman fed them, dressed them, and cared for them as if they were completely bedridden. The flyer even showed an image of several men lying side by side in what looked like hospital beds, with one empty spot waiting to be filled. No official company name, no clear explanation, just a number to call. Was this just a strange job offer, or something much more disturbing happening behind closed doors? Grumpy MTB is a channel known for posting adrenaline-filled mountain biking videos, riding through trails, mountains, and remote landscapes. This time he was riding along a snowy path on a cold day when, out of nowhere, things took a turn.
Please stop! Please stop!
Okay.
Two dogs suddenly rushed toward him and attacked. He tried to defend himself while the owners struggled to regain control. After a tense moment, the situation was eventually brought under control, but not before the biker had been bitten. About a year later, he shared an update. The dogs were removed from the people caring for them and placed with a rehoming charity, where they were later given to experienced owners and properly trained. The handlers apologized, covered the cost of the damaged gear, and thankfully, the biker made a full recovery. Given the remote location and harsh weather, the owners likely didn't expect anyone else to be around, and may have felt it was safe to let the dogs off leash. The biker was lucky these were younger dogs, because if they had been fully grown, the outcome could have been much worse. And imagine if it hadn't been an adult on that trail, but a child. A female hiker in Mill Creek Canyon shared a terrifying experience that left her hesitant to return to one of her favorite trails. Early one Sunday morning, she was walking with her dog when a man approached. At first, he seemed harmless, asking to pet her dog and even reading its name from the tag. But soon, things changed. The man began following her,
saying my dog's name, trying to get them to come over to the other side of the creek,
hiding in the bushes and repeatedly calling her dog's name, trying to lure it to the other side of the creek. Despite her requests for him to stop, he continued. Realizing the situation was escalating and that she was in an isolated area with no cell phone service, she quickly put her dog on a leash and turned back toward her car. Thankfully, she made it out unharmed, but things could have ended very differently. A person was hiking in Oncativo, Argentina, where they took this photo. What they didn't notice at the time was the image appeared to show glowing figures standing in the distance. The photo was captured in an area some believe is linked to paranormal activity, with reports of UFOs and luminous beings surfacing over the years. But even with that context, the figure itself doesn't make much sense. Some say it could be a trick of light or camera distortion. Others believe it might be something not from this world. But realistically, this is likely just a visual anomaly, although it's hard to explain what caused that strange blue, distorted shape. This elderly couple lives near a beautiful trail. One morning, as they were leaving their home, their Ring camera captured a moment that truly makes your heart stop. Just a few meters away, a bear stood silently, watching them. The couple was completely unaware of the animal. Thankfully, the bear didn't react or charge at them. Back in 2012, a trail camera set up deep in the woods of Lunenburg County, Virginia, captured something truly unsettling at 1:02 a.m. What appeared to be a person standing in the distance, but it wasn't just a normal hiker. The way it stood seemed unnatural. It appeared to have no shirt on and almost looked like some kind of zombie. A closer look also shows what seems to be more figures standing behind the first one. So what was going on in that forest that night? A woman was walking alone through the Appalachian woods after work when she came across something that made her stop.
Can somebody tell me what this is?
It looked like a strange wooden structure hidden among the trees. As she got closer, she noticed something lying on top of it. It looked like a figure, with two large black horns rising from it. People suggested it could be handmade art, or part of some kind of ritual using animal remains, possibly even linked to witchcraft. Whatever it was used for, it's definitely not something you see every day. A Facebook user was visiting a local cemetery. They had gone to pay their respects, walking alone among the headstones. At one point, a sudden feeling of dread hit them, an intense urge to leave, even though nothing seemed out of place. Trusting their instincts, they snapped a few photos of the area before heading home. Later, while reviewing the pictures, they noticed something faint near the spot where the feeling had been strongest. A figure, shaped like a person, a woman. The user believed it was a spirit and shared it online, asking others what they thought, pareidolia, or something paranormal. During a hike, a person came across a creature he had never seen before. The creature is actually known as the dragon-headed caterpillar, native to parts of Asia. It immediately draws attention with the four horn-like protrusions on its head, forming what looks like an armored crown. When threatened, the caterpillar inflates its head, making itself appear much larger and more dangerous than it really is. Two friends were camping in the woods when they heard loud chanting nearby. Quietly, they decided to follow the sounds. What they found was unbelievable, so they grabbed their phone to record. The uploader gave no details about the location, only claiming it was some sort of satanic ritual. Pentagrams were around them, confirming this was no ordinary meeting. After filming, the friends were freaked out and ended their camping trip. When uploaded online, some thought the video was staged to get views, but most agreed no one would fake all this. And these things do happen, so it's not hard to believe that sometimes they get caught. Reddit user G000000P was digging in their backyard to plant a tree when they made a strange discovery. A bunch of old VHS tapes buried just beneath the soil. It wasn't something they expected during simple yard work. Some pointed out that the way the tapes were hidden suggested they had been buried intentionally, not lost. Whether the user ever watched them is unknown, but the comments quickly filled with speculation. Why were these tapes buried there? A woman was swimming along the rugged Pacific coastline when she was swept away by a strong current, eventually reaching the rocky edge in a desperate bid for safety. She clung to the steep cliff, waves crashing violently 70 feet below her, unable to find stable footing. A nearby helicopter recorded every tense moment as rescue crews sprang into action. A firefighter rappelled down the cliff, securing ropes and guiding her carefully. After a nerve-wracking climb, the hero held onto her until she could be safely lifted to the cliff top, where other rescuers awaited. Luckily, the woman made it out unharmed. But if the rescuers hadn't arrived in time, the situation could have gotten worse. A Redditor named Zora War shared a jaw-dropping moment from Nepal, where workers were building a suspension bridge high above the ground in thick, rolling fog. The footage showed them standing on cables and narrow platforms, surrounded by nothing but mist. It's hard to tell just how high they really were, and at first, it almost looks like AI. But people in the comments insisted this is real, and looking into Nepal's suspension bridges, they can reach incredible heights. On May 11, 2025, TikTok user Wrigley720, along with a friend, was hiking through a forest near a park when suddenly, everyone around them froze.
There's a guy 2 trees over there, and then this woman just stood here.
People walking by stopped mid-step, standing completely still. One man stayed in place for what seemed like an hour. A woman stood just quietly, and even figures in the trees appeared motionless. It looked almost like they were under some influence, behaving like zombies. But then all of them began walking again, seemingly at the exact same moment, as if a button had been pressed.
What was it?
Some thought it was a coordinated prank or social experiment. Others wondered if it was something far stranger, a glitch in the Matrix moment caught on camera. During a walk through a neighborhood, a group of people noticed a plane in the sky. Nothing unusual at first, but after a while they realized something strange.
This plane.
The plane seemed to be in the exact same spot, completely still, as if frozen in midair. Some say it could be a parallax effect, a visual illusion that makes moving objects appear motionless. This photo was shared on Facebook by a person visiting a church graveyard in the small village of Uphill. They took pictures late at night with an old 3.2 megapixel camera phone, hoping to capture the eerie atmosphere the place was known for. It was normal until they got home and looked through the photos and saw this. A figure standing among the gravestones that looked suspiciously like a robed monk. Zooming in, the Facebook user believed to see what appears to be a skull-like face. Locals believe photos like these mirror legendary spectral monks reported in cemeteries and churches across England, figures that sometimes appear cloaked and silent in old graveyards. While hiking in South Jersey, Philadelphia, someone allegedly captured this mysterious photo. At the time, it just seemed like a normal picture of the view, but when they later reviewed it on their computer, something was there. A strange figure, barely noticeable at first. Since then, many have claimed the image shows the legendary Jersey Devil. The legend dates back centuries, often describing a bizarre creature with bat-like wings, a horse or goat-like head, cloven hooves, and an eerie presence said to haunt the Pine Barrens. This photo became one of the most talked about captures of the Jersey Devil, but the source remains a mystery. Who took it, and when and where exactly was it captured? Some tourists in Hawaii were enjoying the view on a hike when something unusual caught their attention. High above them, a thick, saucer-shaped object appeared to hover in the sky. Maybe it was military technology being tested, or something far less explainable. Some even wondered if it could be evidence of extraterrestrial life visiting our planet. Or maybe there's another explanation. This person was hiking just outside Chicago when they noticed something moving through the forest and managed to capture it on video. It looked like a massive reptilian creature, walking on either 2 or 4 legs. A long, thick tail trailed just inches above the ground. The proportions felt unnatural, and its movements didn't match anything human. Some argue it could be an unknown animal. Others point to local folklore, giant reptilian sightings, and even reports like the Chicago Mothman suggest strange creatures have been seen in the area for decades. But could something like this really exist? At least I have never seen a costume like that before. TikTok user Wildlife Expert posted a strange video on January 30th, 2026. The man spotted a small herd of deer grazing in a rural area and approached to get an up-close shot. That's when this happened. One of the deer rose onto its hind legs and stared directly at him, letting out a gut-wrenching, high-pitched noise. The other deer continued grazing as if nothing had happened. Instantly, the man knew something was wrong and backed away. This fits the pattern of what people call a not deer. At first glance, it looks like a normal deer, but there's something uncanny about it. So, was it just a deer with some strange behavior? Or was it not deer? A clip surfaced online from someone claiming they had found and entered Area 51. The footage showed 3 glowing orbs hovering in the sky. Then, strangely, the orbs began to merge into one, and just as quickly split apart again. They repeated this motion over and over, almost as if testing some kind of technology. But honestly, the surroundings don't look very desert-like, which makes the Area 51 claim questionable. So what's real here? And what's fake? Reddit user John E1618 was taking photos and videos at the ruins of Netley Abbey in Hampshire, England. But when he later checked the footage, he noticed something strange in one of the clips. What looked like a black mass appeared in the background, only visible in that particular video. He was sure no one else was there at the time, and definitely no one had been in the frame while he was recording. Or so he thought. Netley Abbey, a 13th century Cistercian monastery long abandoned and now a historic ruin, has been linked to strange reports over the years: hooded figures, unexplained coal spots. The Redditor believed it could be a Cistercian monk, with the white tunic hidden beneath a dark cowl. Others insisted it was likely just a person in dark clothing passing by. And with the quality of the footage, it's hard to tell what the shape really was. While editing photos taken at Emigrant Lake in Oregon, a Reddit user came across one strange image. There was a figure that definitely wasn't there when the photo was taken. The poster insisted no one else was at the lake that day, yet the image showed a shape, almost like a person or a shadow, standing near the water's edge. Some suggested it could be a statue, but the user quickly dismissed that, sharing more photos of the same spot with nothing there. So, what was it? A hiker captured this mind-blowing video of a goat. A goat was perched on the side of a vertical tree trunk, nibbling on leaves as if gravity didn't exist. Some commenters suggest it could be an optical illusion or a trick of perspective. Others argue it shows just how extraordinary goats can be, their balance and climbing skills almost defying reason. What do you think? TikToker Mackenzie Riverdrone was hiking through a dense forest with her dog when she heard what sounded like normal birds chirping. But her dog's reaction was immediate and intense, very unlike its usual behaviors. Some believe the sound could have come from mountain lions, which can produce chirping calls eerily similar to birds. It's a softer sound they use to communicate, either as a greeting or a warning. So maybe the dog was onto something. Luckily, she trusted it and turned the other way. A family was enjoying a quiet weekend inside their trailer when, late one night, a deep, menacing growl suddenly came from outside. At first, they assumed it was just an animal passing by, but then the sound got louder. And suddenly, the entire trailer began to shake, as if something was pushing against it. The family froze, unsure what to do. After a few tense moments, one of them stepped outside to investigate, camera in hand. What they found was unsettling. The door netting had been torn open, and from behind nearby bushes, a pair of glowing eyes stared back at them. Some believe it could have been a large animal, others think it might be Bigfoot. Unfortunately, whatever was out there that night remains a mystery. This person can be seen speaking, possibly preaching, in the middle of the woods when the camera captures something strange. Behind him, a figure slowly begins to materialize. At first, it's faint, almost blending into the background, but then it becomes clearer, standing just behind him, and just as suddenly as it appeared, it's gone. With no information about where or when the footage was recorded or who captured it, there's no way to know what was really standing there. YouTuber UV Parjapti Vlogs was hiking through the mountains. As he was walking, he suddenly started hearing strange animal-like sounds echoing through the area. Curious, he looked toward where it was coming from, and that's when he noticed this. A figure with long dark hair and a pale face, peeking out from behind the rocks, then quickly retreating over and over again. Feeling uneasy, he decided not to investigate any further and left the area. Some viewers believe it could be AI manipulation. Others think it might have been a staged prank. But what if it wasn't? Instagram user GayStasm84 shared photos from his hike somewhere in Louisiana on February 28, 2026, showing a creature that locals are calling the Pale Walker. The creature is thin, wispy, and unnervingly gaunt. The Pale Walker is part of regional folklore from rural Louisiana, especially in swampy wooded areas where visibility is low and the environment feels isolating. Witnesses describe it as humanoid, yet clearly not human. Hundreds of sightings have been reported over the years, suggesting this is more than just a story. But this photo almost doesn't seem real, right? For more scary trail encounters, watch this next video.